Welcome. Thank you for coming to practice. So, first thing I have to say this morning is that I won't be here next week. Marcia and I are going on a trip to New Mexico, Santa Fe, and Taos for about a week. So, no Zoom practice next week. And for today's practice, perhaps you looked at the invitation that indicated that this time of year, fall, we often think of it as a period of decline, perhaps even decay. But I was walking through the park the other day, early in the morning, no wind at all, and leaves were just drifting down. And it reminded me that one of the things that happens to initiate those leaves dropping is that underneath that old leaf stem, a new bud is growing already, right away. And it doesn't, in a sense, necessarily push the leaf off, but it's there, it's forming, and that's part of the impetus for leaf. So fall, yeah, not necessarily a time of decline and decay, a time for I don't know, renewal. There you go, growth, perhaps. All right. so So we can practice along those lines today. So one other thing this morning that's a little bit unusual is I have a singing bowl here. It has kind of a nice tone, but didn't bring it along for the sound. Brought it along so that I could invert it as an example. So roof of your mouth you could consider as shaped like this bowl. And just try for a moment, perhaps even with your eyes closed, to rotate the roof of your mouth to the right. Like this inverted bowl is rotating to the right. And then rotate the roof of your mouth to the left. And if your jaw moves a little bit, that's fine too. But just notice underneath those closed eyelids, the eyeballs try to track in that same direction. Yeah, it's not uncommon. So rotating roof of the mouth and letting that engagement end. Yeah, that'll come in handy just a little bit later in the practice. And starting today on our backs. So coming onto the floor, if you're not already there, coming onto your back with knees folded, soles of the feet on the ground. Letting floor support your spine. Taking just a moment's feel the ground. Sense of grounding can be more than a concept, tangible physical experience. And then with arms down by your side, palms rotated to the floor. On an exhale, lift your shoulders up towards the ceiling. And let them release down. So it's exhale, shoulders up, palms down. Next time shoulders come up on the exhale, just pausing there for a moment. And now on the inhale, roll your arms, palms to the ceiling, drawing shoulders down. And then exhale, palms down, shoulders up. Inhale, shoulders down, palms up. synchronized with your breathing. It's that little bit of rounding as you exhale, a little bit of opening as you inhale. And then letting that movement, that engagement trail off. And now focusing on your lower back. Something similar on an exhale, rounding lower back to the floor. Inhale, arching it up to the ceiling. So exhale, rounding. Inhale, arching. Next time you inhale, lower back arched up, pausing there. And opening your palms to the ceiling, shoulders down. So now it's lower back down, shoulders up on the exhale. So, kind of a whole body round. Inhale, arching up, opening. Yeah. So if you need to pause and reconnect, it's back down, shoulders up on the exhale. Back up, shoulders flat on the inhale. All right. Letting that movement trail off. And then it's tipping your knees to the side, but not letting toes lift off the floor. So knees tipping side to side, but not very much. Just enough so that soles of the feet can still stay on the floor. And if you're okay with this movement, if this movement is accessible, go ahead and let your knees tip a little farther so that soles tip up. You might have already noticed that if soles are tipping up a bit, opposite hip lifts up in the air when knees tip to one side, opposite hip lifts up. Next time knees are tipped to one side, doesn't matter which side, pausing there. And now rather than lifting your knees, see if that up in the air lighter hip can pull down to the floor to draw knees open. And same thing going the other way. So rather than knees lifting, it's hip drawing down to initiate this movement. All right. Next time you come through center, just pausing there. Taking arms up to the ceiling, palms facing each other, grabbing opposite elbows. And now it's elbows off to one side, and then drawing them over across to the other side. So elbows about at shoulder height. And noticing here, elbows going one way, opposite shoulder blade lifts, slides around up towards the ceiling. Yeah, so you might have guessed what's coming next. Next time, elbows are off to a side, pausing. And again, kind of like we did with your knees, rather than moving your elbows, see if that up in the air shoulder blade can draw under, down to bring elbows over. Same thing going the other way. And it's kind of easy to give up on that engagement when elbows come overhead. See if you can keep that shoulder blade drawing all the way through the whole movement. Okay, ready for the fun part? Next time elbows are off to one side, drop knees off to the other side. So if elbows are right, knees are left, or opposite way, and rather than moving elbows and knees, hip is going to draw knees up. Shoulder blade is going to draw elbows up. So moving from hip and shoulder rather than knees and elbows. Okay. And then just coming center, resting your arms on down. Checking in with that connection to the ground. So right now, knees are folded. Just taking those legs out straight and then scooting your legs off to the right side of your mat so that heels are just off the side of it. So heels off to the right, then that left arm is gonna sweep along the floor, rotate, and come up overhead. Exhale that arm on down. So it's gonna be inhale, sweep an arm up, and as arm comes up, palm turns up. As arm comes down, palm turns down. And as arm comes up overhead, this time, turn your gaze to look the opposite way. So arm up, gaze look away from it. Arm down, head could come center. Just one more. Arm sweeping up, turning to look the other way. Full deep inhale. Exhale, sweep it on down. Going to the other side. Same study over there. Heels just barely off your mat. And now it's the other side, the right side. Right arm sweeping up. Turning your gaze to look away from that up overhead arm. Maybe just one more after this one. Pause for a longer inhale. All right, arms coming on down. Drawing these in towards your shoulders. Exhale, knees in. Little release for lower back. Rolling onto your side. Coming up on hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. It's exhale, rounding your lower back. Inhale, arching. Kind of like you did a few moments ago on the floor. And if you find that your shoulder blades are moving in that same coordination they were earlier, rounding shoulder blades drawn to the floor, arching shoulder blades, flattening on your back, that'd be exactly what should happen. All right. And then coming to neutral, bringing knees back. Taking seat back towards your heels, extending your arms. Inhale, coming forward, aligning knees, hips, shoulders, and ears. Exhale, lowering on down. Drawing back on your hands to come up and all the way back. Starting that little bit of chakra vakasana flow. Exhaling back, inhaling forward, exhaling down. Inhaling forward and back. So welcome to continue moving in this way. A little bit more challenge would be next time you come forward, lifting your knees. Straight arm plank, lowering down. Going forward and up. Either knees or downward facing dog. And then coming to hands and knees, stepping forward, fold. Here's that. Arching to half lift, rounding to fold. Inhale, sweeping all the way. Let's go right back down. Exhale, folding, going right back down. Inhale, bit of a lift. Exhale, folding, coming to hands and knees. And finding downward facing dog. Just a breath or two here. Knees can be folded, heels off the floor. Getting some length between hands and hips. Exhale, coming to hands and knees. And one more time, coming onto your back. So coming onto your back with Knees over hips, elbows over shoulders. So with knees over hips at 90 degrees, elbows over shoulders at 90 degrees. Calling this home base, and then it's left hand going up, right foot going together and coming down together. And then it's the opposite side, right hand lift. So hand and foot go up together, come back to home base, opposite side. So opposite hand and foot going up and down together. Now, engaging something called contralateral movement, cross consciousness. Let's take both hands and feet up towards the ceiling. And now, right leg is going to go out to the side, left arm out to the side. Leg out to the side only to the place where hips begin to tip. Opposite hip coming a little bit light on the ground. You've gone far enough. Inhale, arm and leg out. Exhale, other arm and leg out. So opposite arm and leg going out together, up together. Exhaling out, inhaling. All right. Next time, everything is up to the ceiling, pausing there for just a moment before bringing arms and legs down. Knees folded, soles of the feet on the floor. And then hands on your knees, drawing those knees in towards your shoulders. Exhale and knees in, inhale, out. Yeah. Noticing how when you exhale, draw knees in, lower back comes close to, if not onto the floor. Well, of course it does. Next time, knees are drawn in, pausing there, taking your hands to the floor. See if that lower back can stay down there close to, if not on the floor, as knees go back out over hips and draw back in, beginning to engage abdominal strength. All right. Next time, knees go out over hips, pausing there and slow, smooth, and strong, setting both of those feet down to the floor. And then using that same abdominal strength, exhale, flattening your lower back to the floor. Inhale, just letting lower back come to neutral. So it's exhale, strength to flatten. Inhale, just release. All right. Next time you exhale, flatten your lower back. Keep that core strength engagement to lift hips up towards the ceiling. And then rolling back on down. So it starts with an exhale, but after that, free to let breath do whatever it does. Maybe it inhales up and exhales down. See what it happens for you. And along the way, feet like to help out. Legs like to push a bit. That describes you rather than outside edge of your foot pressing. See if ball of your foot, big toe side, can do more of the pressing if legs are helping. All right, next time, flatten your lower back, hips lift up, ball of the foot pressing. Pausing there, and then lifting your heels up. Heels lifting brings hips up just a little bit higher. See if they can stay that high as you rest your heels on. And now using that same abdominal strength, rounding your lower back first to bring spine to all the way down. Hands on knees, knees into shoulders. Exhale, release. Inhale, knees going out. In and out like that a few times. Just releasing lower back. And next time knees are drawn in, just rolling onto your side with knees and hips and shoulders more or less in alignment. Coming up on one elbow. So we're on our side with knees folded, knees, hips, torso, more or less in a straight line. Elbow under shoulder, hand on hip, and on an inhale, lifting your hips up, 3, 2, 1. Pause and descending hips, slow, smooth, strong, 3, 2, 1. Tap and lift, 2, 1. Descending. So not letting gravity take over, but letting hips drift down, like one of those leaves drifted down the other morning. And free to continue moving in this way. A little bit more challenge would be legs straight, lifting from your ankle, lifting, 2, 3, lowering. Whoa, I lost my balance. Yeah, lifting, 2, 3, and lowering. All right. Last one, either from knees or from ankles. And coming down and then coming up to seated. Legs straight up. And rounding, folding, extending arms, letting them reach down your shins. And see if one arm feels a little bit freer to move out farther towards your feet. We're gonna reach, yeah, and coming back up. Yeah, so if one arm was a little bit longer than the other, you may have discovered something quite interesting. And that is that when it comes to mobility, a lot of people thinking, I gotta grab, I gotta pull, I gotta stretch in order to gain mobility. But actually, activating and strengthening muscles will, in the big picture, in the long run, get you more mobility. Let's try the other side. So it's knees, hips, and shoulders, and then it's inhale, lifting, and exhale, lowering, slow, smooth, and strong. I was counting before. You could count for yourself. Maybe up and down to the count of 3. And again, free to continue moving from your knees, or you could extend legs and lift from your ankles. All right. Just a couple more. Maybe just one more. Last one. And then we'll come seated again and fold again and see what happens to arm reach, degree of mobility side to side. Coming back up. All right. Coming to hands and knees. And stepping forward with your right foot. And then straightening that back leg. And bringing forearms to thigh, hands to heart, and bringing torso upright. And slowly folding and straightening that front leg. So a little different this time. Usually the first standing form and movement is something quite different from this, but a particular reason for this today. Just checking in to see what strength and mobility feels like here, what steadiness may feel like, and then coming down. We're going to the other side. Now it's left foot forward, back leg going all the way straight. Same movement over here. Front leg folded, torso upright, and then just straightening and lowering that front leg a few times. 3, 4 times. checking stability and strength. And then hands to the floor, coming to hands and knees, and coming seated. So here you could either sit on the floor or you could sit in a chair. So just something I'm going to demonstrate here first, but we are going to massage lower leg, but lower leg in a particular place. So just to the medial side, the inside of your lower leg, there's the shin bone, right? No mistake about it. And then just to the outside of that, the lateral side, is a nice big fat juicy muscle, tibialis anterior muscle. So grabbing your calf with fingers underneath and thumbs on top on that tibialis anterior muscle. And then it's just sliding thumbs down, working thumb over thumb. And as you slide down, working thumb over thumb, flexing and pointing that foot on the same leg. And see if there's a little bit of a perhaps tender place that's not uncommon, or a place that feels like it could use a little bit of a more intense massage. And if you don't find that place doesn't exist this morning, free to just keep doing this, thumb over thumb, flexing ankle. If you found a place that feels a little bit like it needs some attention, just pressing thumbs right there as you flex and point your foot. All right. And then we'll just end with thumbs sliding down towards your foot and going to the other side. So you can do this even if you have leggings on. They won't come up. Same thing. So tibia and just to the outside, to the lateral side, tibialis anterior, and then it's grabbing underneath your calf with fingers and sliding thumbs pressing. Maybe you can see I'm using quite a bit of pressure here. Yeah, knuckles are turning white. And as you work thumbs down that tibialis anterior muscle, flexing and pointing your foot. So this particular engagement right here, this little bit of lower leg massage, if you're a hiker, a biker, a runner, you know you're headed out for some perhaps long-term or even short-term hike, bike, run. This right here, freeing up lower leg, may have a lot of benefit. And again, finding a more tender spot if there is one, and flexing and pointing that foot. All right. And then just sliding the hands down, finishing off, saying goodbye to lower leg. And then it's coming back to hands and knees. Just like we did a few moments ago. Right foot forward, left leg straight. Coming to that high lunge again. Hands to heart, torso upright, and straightening and folding. And seeing if this particular lunge feels a little different than the one earlier. Not suggesting it ought to. Balance always plays a big part. Okay. And then we'll just come down, hands and knees, and a few movements, same movements on the other side. Straightening that back leg, hands to heart, torso upright. checking in with stability, strength, seeing if that lower leg massage had any effect at all. And then it's coming down to hands and knees and finding downward facing dog. Coming back to hands and knees, stepping forward, hold. Bit of a lift inhale, upside down exhale, sweeping all the way up. Okay, here we go. Taking that wide stance. Legs and toes pointed out, hands to heart, and knees forward and seat back, exhaling down, inhaling up. Yeah. And having done that, lower leg tibialis anterior massage. What's that connection with your feet to the ground feeling like right now? Okay, next time legs come straight, pausing there. And you're free to continue moving, knees forward, seat back. But the study this morning, if you choose to go there, is, remember, tibialis anterior? That place, that lower leg muscle drawing out to bring you down, drawing in to bring you up. So exhaling down, inhaling up. Yeah, moving from lower leg first. With hands in the picture, hands like to lead the way. See if lower leg can move before hands and arms do. Oh my goodness. What just happened? Connection to the ground. All right, next time we come down, just bringing hands to heart and straightening left leg and then straightening right leg. Remember what we did just a moment ago. Next time, one leg is straight, pausing there. Doesn't matter which one. And again, rather than folding or pressing, it's that tibialis anterior on the straight out leg is going to pull you right over. And then it's the other leg pulling you back. So that outside of the lower leg muscle, drawing you over and back. Remember, first awareness on your back this morning. Just feeling the ground. Same thing right here. Next time we come center, pausing there. And see if you can let that lower leg draw a little bit farther up before it draws in to come back up. Stepping feet together. Standing for a moment. Letting your gaze lift. Perhaps to where wall of the room meets ceiling. Yeah, we've been here before, haven't we? This right here, again, is Tadasana. Okay. Taking that wider stance. And left toes, right toes turning in, left toes turning out. And hands at hips. And then it's front leg, left leg, knee forward, knee back. Just patterning the movement. Like we've studied, referenced a few times already this study would be next time both legs are straight, rather than knee forward, it's, yeah, you guessed it, tibialis anterior, muscle of the lower leg, drawing forward. Muscle of the lower leg drawing. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Yeah, isn't that interesting? Exhale, forward, inhale. Okay, next time you exhale, tibialis brings you forward. Then it's just tipping at your hands. And this time it's left hand to that lower leg muscle. And hand is going to actively press into lower leg. The lower leg is going to actively press back by lifting the heel of your front foot just a quarter inch or so, keeping it light, keeping it lifted as you shift hips back, hips drawing back, back, back to begin to straighten that front leg, but just to the place where lower leg can keep pressing into hand. Yeah, and then it's free arm up and free here to look either out to the side or up to your hand or down to the floor. Arm coming down, knee coming forward, pressing down to come up, and stepping feet together. Checking in side to side. Two sides feel the same. Yeah, not so much. Let's go to the other side. Left toes turning in, right toes turning. Knee forward and back a few times before we start the study. If you choose to go there, same study as we did on the other side. Where leg is straight rather than knee forward, it's tibialis anterior. Muscle of the lower leg bringing you forward and back. Yeah, just like that. Maybe one more time. And then when leg is drawing forward, pausing there, tipping at your hips. Hand to that muscle of the lower leg, actively pressing in as front foot now, right foot heel leg gets light on the foot. And hips begin to draw back, back, back. Front leg begins to straighten, but if you're really honest, probably won't straighten all the way because lower leg has to keep pressing into the hand. Free arm up. All right. Just a couple breaths here. Looking up, forward, or down. And then it's arm down, knee forward, pressing down to come up, step feet together, standing for a moment. Eyes lifted, gaze lifted. Yeah, you may have been here before. All right. Just gonna check my notes and we'll take that wide stride again. Right toes in, left toes out. And then it's hands on hips. And again, patterning the movement. Left knee forward and left leg straight. And next time, left leg comes straight, lifting your forefoot. And then when knee folds, lifting your heel. And just feeling how support shifts between heel and forefoot. Knee folded, forefoot pressing. Knee straight, forefoot lifted. All right. Next time leg is straight, forefoot is lifted. Feel how support is still pretty much landing under the heel of that front foot. Now just lightly resting the forefoot down. Support may still be pretty much under the heel. And without looking at your leg, perhaps using that straight ahead gaze, begin to bring your knee forward, but only to the place where support begins to equal out between heel and forefoot. Finding that equal support in the front foot, left foot, And then bringing that same quality to the back foot, right foot. Front to back, side to side. Tipping at your hips, forearm to thigh. Free arm reaching forward first, and then into the line of your back leg. Yeah. And free here to not necessarily look up, but turn your gaze to look at the floor in front of your foot. Yeah, we've been here before, haven't we? A long time ago, on your back on the floor. Heels off to one side of the mat, arms sweeping up. Kind of the same thing right here. Longer inhale. And exhale, arm on down, pressing down to come up. Stepping feet together, checking it again side to side. Yeah. Why do we bother doing this? Yeah, I mentioned before, it's a moment of mindfulness. And because the tradition has only one organizing principle, and that is to poise your mind for inquiry. Yeah, that sounds kind of strange, doesn't it? And those are words you don't often hear together. So I'll say them again. Yoga practice has only one organizing principle, and that is to poise your mind for inquiry. So this right here, that moment of inquiry, things feel the same or do they feel different? Let's take it the other side. Left toes turning in, right toes turning out, knee coming forward. Forward and back a few times before. Straight leg, forefoot lifting, folded leg, heel lifting. Feeling the shift in support. So that next time leg comes straight, forefoot's lifted, you can just lightly set that forefoot down. And begin to draw the knee forward till support equals out between forefoot and heel without looking. Bringing that same awareness now to the back foot, front to back, side to side. Tipping at your hips, forearm to thigh, free arm reaching. Coming into that angle of your back leg. And again, turning to look at the floor, away from that reaching arm. Breathing into ceiling side ribs. Next exhale, arm coming down, pressing down to come up. Stepping feet together. Yeah, poised for inquiry. Okay. Ever wonder why there are so many of these unilateral movements? And then a moment, perhaps, I know some guidance doesn't give you that moment to just check in, see what happened. All right. I think we better head for the floor. Yep. So it's going to be inhale, sweeping up, exhale, folding. Bit of a lift, inhale, upside down, exhale, and coming to kneel. So coming up onto your knees. Remember last week, ease an upright posture. We were here before and we've been here before. Top of the feet pressing down to engage back of the leg strength and stabilize hips. Stabilizing hips so that when hands come to hips just behind center line, breastbone, chin, and gaze reach up, lift up. More of that spinal extension comes into thoracic spine, place that's usually a little bit dormant. Exhale, coming on out. All right, coming seated. Coming seated, simple cross-legged seated form. And letting your eyes close. Letting your eyes close and we'll begin. Before we head for the next movement, Next, traditional form, turn, bringing awareness to the very top of your spine, very top vertebra is called axis. Oh, I'm sorry, atlas. It's atlas. It's the last, so it's at last. And that can only accommodate one movement, and that is head nodding, nose dropping down and lifting up. And beginning to nod your head and gradually, incrementally, making that movement smaller and smaller until you can barely feel movement at all. Atlas nodding movement. It's like migrating monarch butterfly comes around and lands on your nose, and then it flies away. Weight of the butterfly tips nose down just a bit, and then butterfly gone, nose up. And not a very big movement. And letting that movement trail off and working with the next vertebra down, axis. Axis can only accommodate one movement. That is head turning side to side. So like shaking your head, no. It's exhale, turning to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale, the other side. And again, gradually, incrementally, making that movement smaller and smaller until you can barely see if you're moving it. If eyes are moving underneath your closed eyelids to initiate that movement, nothing wrong with that. All right, letting that movement trail off and then combining the two movements like an infinity symbol, a sideways figure eight. Nose describing that very small, incrementally small figure eight. So that if someone was sitting across the room watching you, they wouldn't know you were moving at all. All right. Letting that movement trail off. Remember the singing bowl inverted, kind of like the roof of your mouth, little rounded mound in there. Lifting your hands, hands lifting, left hand to right knee, right hand comes behind. So we haven't turned torso at all yet. So if you went ahead and turned anticipating, please come back center. It's just hands moving. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind. And then rotating the roof of your mouth to that right side. And moving from the top of your spine down, 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 down. Trickle down turn. Pausing for a moment. And before you come back, first step is to just suspend your arms, suspend your hands. And then rotating the roof of your mouth, trickle down, turn back forward. Going to the other side. So torso and gaze stay forward, even if eyes are closed. And it's just right hand to left knee, left hand comes behind. And then rotating the roof of your mouth now to the left. Trickle down, turn, top of the spine down. Pausing for a breath. Suspending your hands. Roof of your mouth rotating now back the other way. To bring forward. All right. Oops. Coming back to knee. Top of the feet on the floor. Top of the feet pressing down. Stabilizing hips, hands to hips. Lifting breastbone, chin engaged, seeing, oh my gosh, what if any shift there's been in mobility? As a result of that, small movement, top of your spine. Exhale, come on up. Yeah, kind of interesting, isn't it? We often think bigger is better. That's the mantra of our culture. But in some cases, smaller gets you better, gets you more mobility. Maybe see what was true for you. All right. I think we've got time to bring knees, come onto your side with legs at a 90-degree angle. Thighs 90 degrees to your torso, lower leg 90 degrees to your thighs. And then coming onto your side. And then, best you can, lifting that top leg so that knee leaves and ankle leaves at the same time, lifting, not letting gravity take over, bringing that leg down. See if knee and ankle can touch knee and ankle at the same time. Up and down like that a few times, just a few, maybe 3 or 4. And not letting gravity take over. Maybe one more last one. All right. And then it's taking that leg out straight forward, straight away from you. Lower leg still stays folded, and that straight out leg is going to do some leg circles. Toes lightly brushing the floor. Going in both directions. And then that straight out leg is going to rest down. And this arm that's on the floor, perhaps cushioning your head, a pillow for your head, that arm is going to come on top of the thigh of the straight out leg. Leg is going to lift to the ceiling, hand is going to resist and hold it down. As you open torso back towards the ceiling, reaching out, suspending that reaching arm. Straight out leg lifting, hand resisting, other arm reaching. Noticing how longer inhale intensifies any sense of resistance. Just as important, exhale releases. One more longer inhale. Knee coming up, coming seated for a moment. And holding, seeing now if one arm is able to reach a little bit farther than the other. Yeah, moment of awareness. Poised for inquiry. Let's go to the other side. So I'm just gonna, you go free to roll over. I'm just gonna switch sides here. And again, it's the thighs at 90 degrees, lower leg at 90 degrees, resting down, head on arm. And then there's just a few of those so-called clams. But see if, without looking at your leg, you can let knee and ankle leave knee and ankle at the same time. And knee and ankle touch down knee and ankle at the same time. Yeah. Legs slowly drifting down, just like that leaf. Releasing and then falling to the ground. All right. One more, last one. Knee coming down, leg coming straight forward. A few leg circles. Straight out leg circles, toes brushing the floor. And then legs stay straight out, resting down. And the lower arm, hand on thigh. Leg is going to try to lift. Hand is going to hold it down, resist it. Opening to the ceiling, opening to the sky, free arm reaching out. Just like the other side, taking a moment of inquiry to see how the longer inhale may intensify any sense of resistance or tug. Just as important, if not more, exhale releases it. Like that leaf releasing from the branch. All right. Leg coming, arm coming. Coming onto your back. Knees folded, soles of the feet on the floor. You're free to keep your eyes open for the time being, or you can let your eyes close. A breathing practice right here. So beginning to let your inhale, length of your inhale be the same as length of your exhale. So if you're a person that likes to count, maybe inhale 3 or 4. Exhale 3 or 4. Inhale same as exhale. Samverti, the traditional practice. So I was in the clinic not too long ago, early morning for an eye appointment, and heard a voice come over a loudspeaker, reminded me of my days in grade school, high school, morning announcement. And with some guidance to begin to inhale more deeply. And it really made my heart kind of heavy. Still got that inhale, exhale the same. So the story is my heart was heavy because the person giving the guidance had that exactly backwards. It's not the inhale, not the inhale that calms, it's the exhale. So now let your exhale be 1 count longer than your inhale. Maybe exhale 2 counts longer than your inhale. Working in a window of usefulness, not straining, just question, poised for inquiry. Is it the inhale or the exhale that brings a sense of release and grounding? Everyone's experience is different. Just see what's true for you. All right. Letting that special breathing intention drift away. Last few moments, nothing special to do. And if you feel like legs straight out would be more useful, perhaps you've already gone there, go ahead and straighten your legs. Or they could stay folded. All right. Eyes are closed, letting your eyes open. And then drawing these in towards your shoulders. Rolling to one side. Coming up seated. Yeah. Waiting for everyone to come seated. And then taking a collective inhale and exhale, hands to heart. Namaste. Thank you for coming to practice.